Hello there. I'm Dr. Erin, and welcome to video one of our three-part video series, Train My Brain for Success. You've probably heard the quote from Henry Ford, whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right. And one thing I know about working with successful entrepreneurs and business titans is that they understand the power of their mind. I look back on my life and I'm a psychologist. I've always been fascinated with the way that us humans think and how our thinking impacts our behaviors, which then impacts the results we get. But really, I have my brain to thank for the life that I'm currently living. My mindset is what helped me grow several six-figure businesses. It helped me become the professional saleswoman of the year when I used to think that I could never sell anything. And I actually used to think sales was kind of this awful process that I didn't want to be a part of. I used to be terrified of speaking, and now I'm an international keynote speaker, and I actually love it. That's because my brain changed. I went from being unhealthy to being extremely healthy at the age of 40 and competing in a bikini contest and took home a trophy. That was because of my mindset and, of course, the behaviors that were a result of it. So, I have my brain to thank for going from being clinically depressed to being one of the happiest people that I know. And I'm so excited to show you how. And in this first video, I really just want us to ponder this brain of ours, what its job is, how that kind of juxtaposes on our desire to be an entrepreneur, and how to make sense of that and really get our brains working for us and not against us. So the first step is we're going to introduce an idea that I call moving from probability to possibility. So what do I mean by this? When we look at our brain's job, our mind's job, there are many different parts of the job description, but our brain is there to collect data, to take in everything that's happened to us in the past, and then to try to make order of things, to try to create a system to move from chaos to order, to keep us safe, to protect us from failure, from looking like a fool, from being rejected, from wasting our time, from wasting our money, all sorts of things. Our brains also compare and judge and rank order things as good or bad or useful or not useful. Our brains do so many wonderful things for us. Now, here's where it gets a little bit tricky. When you look at the kind of definition of what it means to be a creative in business, to be an entrepreneur or lead an organization in corporate America, really we're being asked to create something that we've never seen before in our life. That's what growth is, right? Creating, being something, producing something we've never seen before. Now, if the brain's job is to take all the data in that we've accumulated so far, how do we go from here to there if we're creating something we've never experienced? So what we're being asked to do as an entrepreneur really is to take risks and to reach new levels of growth. And so we're going to have to learn how to mind our mind in that process. So we're going to have to learn to move from probability, which is the brain saying, what's happened so far, to possibility. And that's where it gets really good. I want us to be less interested in what is probable and more interested in what is possible. So I want you to give yourself an example of understanding how powerful your mind is. And I want you to take a look around in your setting, wherever you are right now, your environment. And I want you to understand this concept that what you see in your physical world is the result of your thoughts. What do I mean by that? I am talking to you on a computer. I had to at some point say, I want a computer, which was a thought that then made my body move to go earn the money to then buy the computer. I had to at some point say, I really want to be a psychologist. Okay, I need to apply to graduate school. I needed to believe that it was possible that I could get in, whether or not my brain thought it was probable that someday I would be a doctor, you know? I mean, if you take a look around, I can look at my dog and say, that all started from a thought. I wanted a doodle. And so I went and adopted one for our family. So thoughts become things. What you currently see in your physical world is a result of what first started in your mental world. Okay. So now that we understand that, I want you to understand that even though our brains are wired for probability, we have what's called neuroplasticity on our side. This is the idea that we can change our brain, which is why you're here. Train my brain for success. We are here to change your brain. So, as we wrap up today, I want you to ponder and think about an example of a time where you have changed a limiting belief that you once held true and now believe something else. I'll give you an example. For most of my adult life, I was terrified of speaking. I was terrified of speaking in public. In fact, so much so that in graduate school, one of the number one goals was to get me to talk. Now I love being a keynote speaker. So I trained my brain to go from I could never speak. I would embarrass myself and absolutely panic if I had to do that to I love being a keynote speaker. When can I speak next? So I want you to get your workbooks out and write down some examples of where you have some evidence in your life of training your brain to change. I will see you tomorrow in video 2. And tomorrow's gonna be so good. I get to teach you my methodology of how to have a different relationship with your negative thoughts. Bye.